name doesn't have a South American twist or a Spanish twist, you probably will not get any change off the English press. I honestly think England need a foreign manager. I think they need a strong manager who has a bit of who can tell the press to shut up. To be honest, because honestly, I don't think he should play Foden and Bellingham together. I think it takes a strong manager to put one of them on the bench because I think it'll be better for either of them. Because I feel like if you probably start Bellingham and put Foden on much later, because either way, playing the two of them together, Bellingham hasn't showed up apart from the first 30 minutes in the first game of the tournament and then that bicycle kick in the game against Slovakia. Foden, I haven't seen him at the tournament at all. Harry Kane, you don't even want to talk about him. It's really weird for England this tournament. They were favourites for some odd reason when Opta released the stats before the tournament. And I question the fact that they really don't do anything on the international stage. And they haven't played well at this tournament. I feel like against the Swiss, they were very, very, very lucky. I thought the Swiss bossed the game. The Swiss always seem to have time on the ball. They switched to play really well, and they caught England napping a lot of times. That's why I said if they go play three at the back against the Dutch are not going to. The Dutch know how to spread the play, and Cody Gakpo looks like he is
coming into
if they get to
it.
the final, he probably is in the shout for probably player of the tournament because he's played really well for the Dutch. He looks like their only outlet at the moment. So I think if England play three at the back against the Dutch, they're going to be punished. The Dutch have better passers in midfield as opposed to the Swiss. There were lots of times when the switch was on, but the Swiss didn't particularly make the right passes. And England got away with it a couple of times. They didn't particularly create a lot against Switzerland, even though they changed shape. So I still feel the jury is out on England. Will always be out on them anyway. I think they go out in the semifinals either way, even if they get to penalties. I think they put too much pressure on this team. I think they showed the picture of how every member of the Swiss side were going to take penalties. It was on the water bottle that Jordan Pickford was carrying. It's a knack to overthink stuff. I think Southgate overthinks it. His players overthink it. When they're playing, you can tell that they overthink it. And I think that's going to be what's going to hurt them the most at this tournament. I pray they don't win. I hope they don't win. I feel they won't win.
I mean, so if you're a devil's advocate there, other than just the mentality of the whole UK, I think they just need to, like, for the sake of football, they should just be denied. Like, it's the culture of the game. That's the only thing I have against them.
I mean,
but their conservatism does lead to some interesting things. For example, like in all the teams, they're like, because of the type of game they played, and it was also mirrored by the Swiss, they both have like very high pass accuracies, like 91%. You don't usually see that, especially not in like a semi-final. The second thing is the Dutch's strengths. If the caveat is if they do four at the back. If they do four at the back, and the second caveat is if now Luke Shaw is not able to, if he's feeling, if he's feeling okay, and he's not able to play left back. England understand how to stop fast wingers because it's part of their game. Like in the EPL, it's not new. Like it's not going to surprise them. It's not going to phase them. Gakpo running at who will he be running at? That'd be Walker, right? Running at Walker, it looks like, based on where he is on the field. I mean, Walker is super fast. So Walker, he's faced like wingers of Gakpo's ilk like every other day at the EPL. So I don't think that's a big thing. So you have to think about this more carefully, about a team that's conservative, that will keep the ball very well, right? Even though it might be boring, and have a tendency to absorb the shock from fast, pacey wingers. And this also works with Spain. Only that with Spain, they don't need to do just the side. They can come down the middle as well. If Netherlands can come through the middle, it's game over for them.
So kudos to donkeys of the week. What is it? You got any kudos? Oh, actually, let's flip it. Let's do donkeys first, and we'll give kudos. So, you got any donkeys of the quarterfinals or the Euros or the Copa? You can pick anyone. Any donkeys?
My donkeys. Can I go?
Yes, of course.
Question ready. My donkey is Nagelsmann for disappointing a whole nation. Oh boy!
My donkey.
So that's my donkey.
Guys,
Oh,
Southgate. He needed to go behind before he could actually think against Switzerland, because bringing on Palmer and Eberechi changed the game for England. If they hadn't gone to go behind, we probably wouldn't have seen those guys until maybe a few minutes to the end of extra time, because we're going to take penalties.
Fair enough. My donkey is a Brazilian manager,
ooh.
Dorival Jr. The whole tournament, this tournament ended in a very disappointing way for Brazil, but it's a case of what could have been. Brazil were in a group that they should have won. They didn't win that group. They struggled. As a matter of fact, they struggled to score goals. They only scored most of the goals in one game. They couldn't. They were in the same group as Colombia, but they did not beat. I believe they beat Paraguay. That's the only team they won. They couldn't beat Costa Rica, the whooping dogs of Copa
Everybody.
America. Yeah, they couldn't beat that. Every other team in the tournament beat Costa Rica, but them in the group. I mean, and so that's why they ended up where they are, and it's a very disappointing tournament for Brazil. Like I said, a lot of us like Brazil, and we always look forward to having a good Brazilian team. Rafiu says donkey is Belgium. Yeah, another golden generation wasted.
They've been out for a long time now. Right?
They've been out for a long time, but they could be donkey. They could be donkey for the next.
What's
for the rest
Spain
of the year.
Rafiu? Can Rafiu tell us what's Spain?
Going back to that Brazil thing, that Brazil have only won 2 games in World Cup qualifying to that World Cup that you seemingly think they're preparing for. So they're having a hard time qualifying for the World Cup. I think they're like sixth. I think they're like 6th on that qualifying table. They're like just inside of those intercontinental playoff places.
Yeah,
so
but Brazil, they normally start slow qualifying. Don't they play like 1,000 games and they win anyway?
It's only 18 games. It's only 18 games. I think you have to play, and they've played 6, so there's another 12 to go. But there are many teams in that place that are better than them. You could say Argentina is better, Uruguay is better, Colombia is better. You might even say that they're not better than Venezuela and Ecuador currently. So to be top 5 might not be that straightforward for Brazil. Yeah, and then Street Fighter says donkey is the rhythm. Like, what's up with what's up with Portugal now? I do not think Roberto Martinez should be the donkey. He did not.
I don't think so.
I don't know that he did anything wrong.
I don't think he did anything wrong.
And they had good chances to score. They just didn't. They just didn't do it.
It's not his fault they missed those chances. Yeah. And they played. Look, when you play against a coach who does not care, like Chucky says, about what anybody says. He doesn't care what the press says, doesn't care what the players want, doesn't care what your best position is for your club side, doesn't care what your best style of football is. The only place to win. Deschamps. Deschamps will destroy football than lose. That's his, so it's very, very difficult to beat Deschamps. In the last 2 tournaments, when they lost the Euros tournament, it was a penalty in the final, correct? When they lost in the World Cup, it was a penalty in the final. France hardly lose games under Deschamps when it comes to tournament football. The guy knows what he's doing. And then Ayo says donkey is Martinez for sacrificing Portugal golden generation for homeland.
Fair point. Fair point. He had Diogo Jota on the bench. They didn't go to him at all.
Who on the bench?
He had Diogo Jota. There was Jota.
Oh wow, yeah, he did.
I felt like I could have played him more.
Yeah, but what do you do? Like realistically, what do you do? Like every child that's born in Portugal looks up to this guy called Cristiano. Every church, ministry, every government official. I mean, talk about being Deschamps. It's like Deschamps benching Mbappe when Mbappe is like
39 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, no. I'll flip it around and say donkey is Cristiano Ronaldo, with all due respect, because he should have sacrificed for the team, but the guy refuses. He refuses to sacrifice for
the man. Doesn't have grace. Why can you ask of a man something doesn't have?
I mean, like Modric was sometimes coming off the bench for Croatia. This guy doesn't want.
Cristiano
they
is
will
not
stop
Modric.
him.
The
Yeah,
only
they will stop him, and
similarity between Cristiano and Modric is that they both play for Real Madrid at some point in time. That's the
yeah. I
only
mean,
similarity
what-
between both of them.